Hi, I'm Zuby from Magic with Zuby, a proud member of the Gonna Geek Network. Just like the show you're listening to now, the opinions expressed are those of each individual host. Check out all other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy, brought to you by the Gonna Geek Network. Bringing you the latest nerdy news and geekdom, here are the hosts of the show. Anthony.
No pants, all bacon and dick butts.
Naki.
That was the joke, you dumbass.
Willie.
You're a bad person.
Chris.
We should probably, do actual show stuff instead of talk about Willie.
And sometimes some special guests.
As Magneto once said, ha ha ha, welcome to die!
Meat candy, woohoo!
If you're a kid and listening, you rock and your parents are awful.
A brand new ATGN starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 265 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. If you're watching live, this is not, in fact, the pre-show. I just forgot to turn that bug off when the video came up, so it was only up for a few seconds. A surprise. Also, if you're watching live, you might be looking at the bottom of your screen and going, what the hell? There's only 2 people here. You guys introduced 4 in the intro. Well, Naki couldn't make it this week. She had some scheduling conflicts and other things to take care of. Willie will be joining us later in the show to talk about E3. He's just heavily reviewing his notes, and he was otherwise busy later this morning. So about 20 minutes in, we'll probably transition over, get Willie on the call, and we'll talk about all sorts of stuff that came out of E3 2017. So if you want our E3 conversation, Anthony and I are not doing that until Willie is here.
And what, we're not enough for you? The 2 of us? Come on now.
Well, Willie's the comedian on the show.
What?
Yeah, that's the sad thing. That's our comedian.
He's our comedian?
Yeah, the bar is low, man. The bar is low.
Not sure if I agree with that.
Yeah. So if you guys missed the pre-show this week, talk about that real quick. I was positively gushing about Rick and Morty, and then Anthony joined me about it because I made the mistake of picking up Pocket Mortys again. And for those that aren't familiar, Pocket Mortys is basically like Pokemon, but with Mortys that you can play on your iPhone or Android device. It is incredibly addictive, and yeah, incredibly addictive. Sailor pulled in the chat room. Willie's just blazing up, isn't he? I can neither confirm nor deny that.
He might just be smoking himself out.
He does have a wedding to go to today, so who knows what Willie's doing.
Oh, that he's probably got to be high. You can't deal with that shit on regular level human emotion.
It is a wedding, so it's entirely possible.
That way he can show up, just nice and baked and act like he has feelings and be moved by the ceremony. It was so pretty.
What is this feelings you're talking about? I'm very confused.
It's what people fake when they go to stuff like weddings. They have to act like they care.
I just go for the open bar.
Oh, I miss open bars.
Last wedding I went to had an open bar, but I had to drive back home, so I had a drink. I didn't make them pay for the fact that they invited me to an open bar wedding.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, you got to make them pay.
Well, I had to drive back home. It was a 2-hour drive. I didn't want to stay up there all night. Oh, well. Hey, that's neither here nor there. Like I was saying earlier, welcome to the show, guys. We're probably going to kick things off here in just a sec with our news of the week. But before we get into that, what should we get into, Anthony? I'm going to throw up the format a little bit this week. We're going to do what I'm into first.
Sweet.
Because I teased that Pocket Morty's crap, so I'm doing that first. Go ahead.
I've been getting into my epic mail call was the beginning of it, mainly because yesterday I had some Kickstarters show up, and I had these bad boys arrived. I've got there we go. I got stacks and stacks of sketchbooks. So I got work to do now. I have to draw. All of these are the custom sketch covers that I ordered. These covers are done. These guys I like because they just go in the mail. Every one of these motherfuckers has to be drawn on. Either a black and white sketch cover or a color coping sketch cover. So
you're going to be drawing forever is what you're saying.
Yeah, the customs are going to take a lot longer now. I didn't think the custom ones would be as popular. I thought people would want the lower price regular covers. But yeah, so the regular covers will be going out this week. I've already torn all the sketches out of my sketchbook from all the 2015 Star Wars Inktober. Put those all aside. I printed up a layout. I sent out all the surveys yesterday. So everybody that backed the Kickstarter should have your survey. The quicker you get that back to me, the quicker I can get everything set aside. I'm gonna go through all the sketches. I let people know like if there's a certain character you like that nobody else is a fan of, because I asked everybody in their survey who their favorite character was and which character they wanted if they're getting a sketch cover. And for a lot of people, it's a different answer. And man, I gotta tell you, there's a lot of characters I've never drawn that I will be drawing on these sketch covers, and a couple of them multiple times. I didn't think about it. I've never drawn Mara Jade, and at least 2 of the sketch cover requests have come back with Mara Jade. So I gotta draw her at least twice. So it's gonna be a fun learning opportunity. But yeah, so I've got those. Those will be going out. I updated the Kickstarter, and then I received a Kickstarter. I got this awesome box of stuff from Sean Pryor and the guys at Crown Taker Entertainment with the new sport comic that they did, where they're doing football. It's called Force. It's like football operations, something or other. Sean worked it to where it works out for the anagram. And then artist Jay Reed and who is it? The other co-writer, co-creator B. Alex Thompson worked on it. They did actually have a pack of trading cards. It's got 9 trading cards in it. These little mini posters. So you got so the Super Bowl logo, or it's what they call it, the San Antonio Supreme Bowl. So like they literally did the graphic design work for creating an entire football league for the Tennessee Boxers, who are the main stars of the book, and all these teams that they play. And then along with that, the shirt I got for the Kickstarter is for the Supreme Bowl. So I have a shirt for basically a Super Bowl of a football league in a comic book, which I think is freaking awesome. I did I couldn't sleep last night. I was listening to Jason Clark and Jay Fosgett talk about American Gods while I was working on drawing, and I was like, I read that book a while ago. Maybe I'll start watching that. And so I watched the first episode of American Gods, and the review episode they did on Jay's podcast, Elegant Welcome, was pretty dead on, and that show does not fuck around. That is one hell of a first episode.
I heard it slows down a lot after the first episode, though, for people that have been watching it. I haven't watched it myself because I don't have stars, but
that pilot is just wow. It is a bloody mess, but like in a good way. Like you're seeing action sequences that are just, it's like, oh yeah, this is not a primetime TV show. This is a cable show. But I also realized that I think, because I remember I read American Gods, but I don't really remember much of the book. And I think like post-Navy, prior to giving up drinking, I'm realizing that a lot of the novels I read, I don't really remember that well. And so getting to watch the series now, it's like I have a vague idea who everybody is, but it's all kind of new. So that's been nice. And then the last thing I had was my comic of the week was Nova #7. I picked this up on Friday when I got paid. And it's sad to say that the newest volume, I think it's volume 5 of the Nova series, has been canceled. Issue 7 is the last issue. Upside is that they had returned Rich Rider from the Cancerverse, where he had given his life to save all of reality, but they had brought him back with like basically the Cancerverse was using him as a doorway and was fighting its way into our world. So I think at the end of issue 6, Rich had sacrificed his life again and gone back into the Cancerverse. This whole series had been a setup of kind of Sam and Rich working together to kind of find an equilibrium between them both being Nova, and basically Rich kind of just handing down wisdom as the older brother Nova to the new kid. And this issue was great because basically the whole time Nova's been telling, or I think Nova is Rich. Rich has been telling Sam that, you're a hero. You have to step up. It doesn't matter what the situation is. If you can help, you have to help. And so Rich, sacrifices himself, gets pulled back in the Cancerverse, and Sam like saves his family, is getting away, and it's like, nope, a Nova has to step up. And he turns around and flies back through the crack in reality with his mom screaming at him to stop, goes in, helps Rich, and basically they're able to pull the Cancerverse out of Rich, the part of it that's in him. And there's this awful panel that people have poked fun at online, because as he's like pulling these tentacles out of his body, there's one where Rich is basically doing this. And in the drawing, it really does look like he's sucking a giant alien cock. It's an awful panel. But then when you flip the page, like he's pulled the whole thing out of him. They fight their way back. They get the cosmic cube that's on that side. And then the book ends on a very awesome up note where Rich and Sam make it back to reality. They break the gateway where World Mind, infected by the Cancerverse, has been trying to affect the regular Marvel universe. and now Sam and Rich are Nova in the Marvel Universe, and they're both fine. So Rich is no longer connected to the dead universe. He basically had to sacrifice himself twice to save reality, and on the second time he had more help, and so it actually worked.
Interesting. That
Yeah,
does
so
sound
it sucks.
kinda cool.
Yeah, it sucks at the book's ending, but they were, because they knew it was ending at least. Hopeless and the other guys that were working on, or I'm sorry, Loveless, they at least had the chance to know it was ending, and so they were able to put together a really good ending for the title.
That might be worth checking out. That's a 7-issue run. It shouldn't be too hard to pick up, and worst comes to worst, pick it up on Comixology.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Marvel will probably put it in a trade because, with it only being 7 issues, and Sam Alexander is still a fairly popular character, and I've seen the numbers, like this book wasn't selling that poorly. I'm kind of angry about this one getting canceled. Like, it's selling better than some of the books that are going to run at least through the course of Secret Empire. Like, it was outselling Sam Wilson Cap, but we know that book's not ending until Secret Empire's done because they made him part of the crossover.
Of course.
So it's kind of like, oh, the 2 Nova books, which they're going into the Marvel Legacy series, where they keep talking about how they're going to have the older and the new and old versions of characters in the books. Fucking Nova already had that. They already had a book with the original and the new character in it. You bastards. And you cancel it.
It's Marvel. They've canceled so much stuff lately. I'm so far behind on all my books. I'm sure half the stuff I was on my pull list is canceled by now.
Oh, yeah. My pull list has gone down $20 every paycheck just for Marvel books that have been canceled that I haven't replaced.
Yeah, that's helpful. You save money that way, so I guess that's a mixed blessing.
Yeah, but no, the downside is that Marvel still has their somewhere on a bulletin board, one of their walls in their office, it says shit on the New Warriors. I swear to God it does. Fucking Nick Spencer put Rage in a coma or killed him. We're still not sure. They fucking canceled Nova's book for the 5th time. I'm pretty sure they're any minute now Firestar's going to get cancer again. They just shit on every character that's ever been a New Warrior, and it pisses me off because that's the book that got me into comics. I fucking love that book.
They are inciting passion in the fan base. That's what they'll say. They're inciting passion or some crap like that. I don't know. That's pretty cool,
They're
though.
pissing me off.
I'm gonna have to go. I'll go read that book. I'll go read the run. I can pick it up on Comixology when it's a trade or something for sure.
And it's a good one. Yeah, and what was Chris Smith, Hepburn, a couple of different artists are on it. Ramon Perez, I think, does most of the book, but there's a couple artists that helped out for like the last issue to finish it off. But yeah, it's got some really cool artwork, and they do a really good job of showing the different designs between Rich is all in his full blown. Trying to think of what the war was, because they did the War of the Kings, and then there was the one with Annihilus when Rich is basically when they made Nova hang out with Star-Lord, and they were defending the galaxy against the Annihilus wave. But like Rich has the full blown Nova battle armor, and then Sam has the little black helmet and just basically a spandex suit. And so like they do a good job differentiating like almost the art style itself to show how different the two characters are. So you have a real small kid in basically a spandex suit with a black helmet, and you have Rich, and he's wearing this fucking giant battle armor and his fucking big gold bucket. Like, they look very different.
Look in the chat room, Jurassic goes, Marvel, the Fox and NBC of comics.
No shit.
And then Sailor Poland, I'm just not bothering anymore. Why should I bother getting wrapped up in new characters and stories if they're going to get canceled before things get going? That's the problem you're going to see with a lot of Marvel stuff, I think, is they take these chances starting these books, people get invested in something new and different, and then they yank the rug out from under them. It's why I've stopped reading as much of the big Marvel and DC books and started reading more of the indie things out there, because they'll take chances that last longer.
Yeah. Rebirth, Reborn, East of West. Again, the main books I look forward to are Image titles now. I'm still going to read Amazing Spider-Man every month, but that might end up being my last Marvel title that I'm getting on my pull list because, well, I'm like 400 issues in a row at this point.
Yeah. And while it might not be an original product here, I'm still loving the hell out of Boom Studios' Mighty Morphin Power Rangers tie-ins.
Nice.
From the TV show. Kyle Higgins is knocking out of the park. I'm way behind on them, of course, but when he did the arc where he basically had a alternate future where the White Ranger and the Green Ranger had merged powers, basically, where Tommy's the overlord of the world, it was awesome. It was just awesome. So,
I can't remember who it was. One of the artists I follow on Twitter at Heroes Con this weekend, he saw what he called a human Funko Pop. There was a kid dressed up as a Red Ranger. It could have been more than like 5 or 6. But apparently his parents couldn't make a child-size helmet for him, so they bought an adult-size helmet and somehow made it fit to his neck. And so this little kid who couldn't weigh more than 50 pounds is walking around with an adult-sized Red Ranger helmet. And so, yeah, he looked like a human Funko Pop. His fucking head was giant.
So what I've been getting into, like I said in the pre-show and early on, Rick and Morty got all that burned through. And I've got a bunch of stuff on the DVR aside from that to do. But on top of that, yeah, freaking Nintendo and Amiibos, I went and put pre-orders in for some because I can't help myself. So, yeah, there's the Guardians 4-pack I've got pre-ordered and the Metroid 2-pack because I need a squishy Metroid in my life.
Oh, of course you do.
It's squishy. It looks awesome. Also, I got something really cool, and I forgot to bring it downstairs. It's hanging on my refrigerator. I'm a frequent viewer of slickdeals.net or .com. I always forget which one it is because I just use the app to try and find stuff I didn't know I needed for cheap. Well, I guess Amazon rolled out this week their second iteration of what they called the Alexa wand. Oh, crap, I probably just triggered mine. No, I didn't. But what they call the wand, and what it is...
She listening.
Yeah. Thankfully, she didn't hear me. What this is a device that uses 2 AAA batteries, has a barcode scanner in one end, and it has a microphone in it, and you can tell it to do things. And Amazon's use case for it is when you're in your kitchen and you're like, oh, crap, I'm out of Pop-Tarts or something. You can use the barcode scanner on this, scan the Pop-Tarts, it puts it in your shopping cart for you on your Amazon account. Now, if we had Amazon Fresh, which is their big grocery store initiative and delivery thing, they would be able to then deliver those to my house when I completed an order. Since they've bought Whole Foods, you can probably see where this is building up towards for them. But what they did is really cool here is it cost me $20 to buy this, which I was like, $20. I guess that's good for a toy. But then as I was reading, like, no, as soon as you activate it, Amazon then gives you a $20 credit on your account for anything that you buy. So effectively, it was a free device. And what's cool about it is since it's tied into the A word that I don't want to say, Amazon Voice Services, it still works with all my home automations. Like I was in the kitchen and I triggered the mic on it because it's not always listening. You have to trigger. And I said, hey, turn on the TV because I wanted to listen to something while I was working. And it triggered all my home automation stuff, turned on the TV. So it was another cheap way to extend my home automation. And what's also cool is it's magnetic. So it's just hanging on the side of my fridge. And I'm going to use it to pick up some stuff at the grocery store, probably some of my my granola bars or like my fruit snacks that I put in my lunch that I take to work. I know I can get those on Amazon for pretty cheap, so I can just scan them in there and buy them that way. It did come with a 90-day trial for Amazon Fresh, but Amazon Fresh not available in my area. It's a bummer. That being said,
stinks.
I like new toys, and this is a new toy that cost me nothing. So I consider that a win. I think it's only available to Prime subscribers right now. If it was something that anyone listening is interested in, it's like one sec. It's the Alexa wand. I had to mute mine.
Because it looks like a replacement for, Amazon was doing those stupid little buttons, right?
So it ties in with the dash buttons. It's the same concept basically. Only it'll do multiple things. Where a dash button, you push it once, it does a reorder for that product.
Yeah, see, because I was thinking the people that if you got the family like the Duggars, they have a button for Tide and a button for Pop-Tarts and a button for toilet paper, and you end up with 82 Amazon buttons. And so you walk into your pantry and push all of them, and then 82 different packages show up. Yeah, a wand with a barcode scanner seems like it makes a lot more sense than if there's 40 items that you order every month. You don't want 40 of those little buttons.
Yeah, it's cool tech. I just forgot to grab it and bring it downstairs with me. I'll make sure I have it for the Gonna Geek show or next week's ATGN so that I can be like, hey, here's what we're looking at. You can go on Amazon's site right now and look at it for yourself. I think they're still doing that $20 promo, which makes it effectively free.
That's cool. I saw after they bought the Whole Foods thing, somebody put up a post on Twitter. There's 2006 Amazon, hey, we sell books, some of them online. And then 2022 Amazon Prime, it is past Prime curfew. Return to your Prime homes.
That sounds about right.
Okay, Amazon's going to partner up with Google and we're all fucked.
Pretty much. But that's going to wrap up our mixing of the bits here. We did what I'm into to start the show, so now we're just going to roll in to the news of the week.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
So you guys are probably familiar with the fact that News of the Week is where we run down the more interesting news that's gone on in the past week, aside from E3 stuff, because we're waiting for Willie to join us. It's probably going to be fairly quick this week because Willie's supposed to be joining us in about 5 to 10 minutes. I'll pull him into the call then, and we'll do that piece. So I'll go first, and my news is actually pretty short, but exciting to me because I'm a Spider-Man fan. Spider-Man Homecoming comes out not this upcoming weekend, but the weekend after that. Right now, Deadline has it projected with an opening weekend of somewhere between $90 to $108 million. That's awesome. I'm super excited that the movie's going to do well. It's a good sign.
I don't know. Seeing the like buzz comparison for Wonder Woman and Homecoming, I think that's a pretty low expectation.
They're different kinds of movies. It's going to be interesting there. Now, the fact is, most people have probably seen Wonder Woman once or twice by the time this comes out, so they'll be wanting a taste of something different superhero-wise. So
True.
That might add up to something. If they pull the $90 million, I still think that's a success because you know it's going to have long-term legs because since it ties into the MCU and you've got Robert Downey Jr.
Oh,
there.
Yeah, with the MCU tie-ins, with its the first full Tom Holland, I don't know. I can't imagine it's going to do less than 100 million, even though it is the 6th Spider-Man film in current memory. But yeah, it's goddamn, that movie looks like fun.
Yeah,
and it's Michael Keaton as a bad guy.
Yeah, they say the previous 5 films over 2 separate iterations have grossed $3.96 billion worldwide. But what's really interesting here is that Deadline started looking at how it's trending, and they said it's trending high with young males. That's not really surprising, but it's also trending really well among families. So you have a 4th of July weekend going on.
Yep. And you have a high school Spider-Man, who's actually played by a kid who's in high school and looks like a kid who's in high school.
Tom Holland's
I love Tobey Maguire.
He's 20 now.
Yeah, but he looks 14.
That's true.
Tobey Maguire, even in the first movie, he still looked 32. Like, it's not his fault, but he didn't look high school.
I don't know if you saw it. They like to show the videos of Marvel actors going to the different hospitals in character and in costume and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And Tom Holland did one recently where he went to one of the children's hospitals in full costume and was talking to kids and stuff like that. I mean, and there was just some really cool moments, and there's some little kids like, oh, it's Spider-Man, and then there's other ones where he just would talk in his normal accent to people, and I was like, oh yeah, he's British, I forgot.
Yeah, well, because that's funny because like 1 or 2 of the kids, you get the sense that really like they were just having a bad day. Which, hey, they're in a children's hospital. They're not all going to be happy to see anybody, no matter who it is. And some of them just did not give a shit. And so he didn't try to put on a show. And that part I really like. He just talked to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, hey, just visiting, saying hi. Because yeah, some of those kids, it doesn't matter who walks in that door. They're having a bad enough day. They're not going to give a damn. And kids aren't going to fake it either because they're kids.
There were 2 moments in that one that I was entertained by. The first one was a little more heartwarming where he's walking in, the kid's a big Spider-Man fan, and you see the mom talking to Tom Holland and the kid, and she's like, how old are you? He's like, I'm 20. And she goes, he's 20. Don't you see in 10 years you could be Spider-Man too? And I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Then the other one was he comes in and it's a girl that's probably in her teens, and he takes off his mask and she goes, oh, you're cute. And you kind of see this look on his face like, what?
Yeah, that was awesome because it kind of threw him. Like, he was totally ready for like any Spider-Man questions. He was not ready for like a girl only slightly younger than him. Like, oh, you're cute.
Yeah, that was funny to me. I don't know why it entertained me so much, but that was just a fun little moment. And I think we shared it on either the Gonna Geek or the ATGN Facebook. That video's out there. I'll find it and try and dump it in the show notes too. But that's my news. Anthony, what do you got for us, sir?
I've got it's all rumor and conjecture. That's the world's full of just rumor and conjecture. There was talk a while ago about a remake of John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China, which I believe I poo-pooed on the show because, well, it's fucking Big Trouble in Little China and it's perfect and you don't need to touch it. And they had talked about it being The Rock, and then they said it was John Carpenter was going to sign off on it. So I was like, okay, that could be good. If John Carpenter signing off on it probably wouldn't be bad. What we do have is a whole bunch of articles popping up now saying that John Carpenter is co-writing the sequel and it will be called Old Man Jack. And basically all of the articles are misleading, and there's hundreds of them now, because what he's doing is co-writing the next comic from Boom Studios, which will be Big Trouble in Little China, Old Man Jack, where we have Jack Burton coming back in, 2020, and the unseen god of the East has unleashed the forces of hell on Earth, and Jack's coming back to fight him. So we are getting a Big Trouble in Little China sequel. It is from John Carpenter, but he's co-writing it, and it's a comic book. It is not a movie. So apparently Kurt Russell is ego, and that's as much sci-fi as he's doing lately. Yeah, so it's one of those things where, yeah, it's it's a cool idea. It's awesome that we're getting the Boom Studios Big Trouble in Little China book has been amazing. I ended up having to drop that just when I was getting too many titles, but the artwork on it was great, and it picked up right where the first movie stopped. So like literally he's in the Pork Chop Express driving down the road with the demon in the back. Like that's where the comic started. So I mean, the comics that Boom's been doing for it are awesome. But yeah, it's now going to be the next 6 months are going to be misleading articles saying that John Carpenter's writing a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China, and you'll have to click on them to find out they're talking about a comic book, not a movie. But yeah.
What studio is it coming out under? Or
Boom.
did I miss that?
Boom Studios.
Oh, yeah, okay, that sounds like something Boom would do. Boom likes to do cool stuff like that.
Yeah, they're buying up all the IPs that apparently Dark Horse isn't getting their hands on. So, as I think between the two, there ain't many movies and TV shows out there that you could make a comic book of that those two aren't making a comic book of.
Yeah,
they're putting a lot of stuff out. Yeah, it looks good, and yeah, they have the promo arts up for the cover. Yeah, it should be another fun one. And from what I've seen, because I was also looking into it again just to check back, and the talk of the reboot has apparently gone just dead cold. Since that first announcement, there's been no more news. So I'm guessing either something fell through or, The Rock decided not to do it. Somebody decided not to move forward with it. Because, yeah, apparently there's been no talk in Hollywood now for, I think 2 years about this movie at all. So it's on the list of, like, what was it? It was like the cold movie list or something that I read, where it's just a bunch of films that people have said, hey, we're going to do this. And then nobody ever talks about it again. You never got a script. You never got a green light, nothing. So yeah, it's just another one of those ones where someone had an idea and put it out there and then didn't do anything with it. But yeah, we will get more Jack Burton, but he's going to remain in comic book form at this point.
I'm okay with that. It could be good.
Oh yeah.
I see in the chat room, Justin had said, did you guys hear the news about Stephen Furst dying a couple days ago? I literally just saw that this morning, and like I said in the chat room, I went and rewatched his little waves scene when he was talking with Mr. Morden in Babylon 5 again, because it's one of my favorite scenes from that show.
Who's Stephen Furst?
He was he was also in Animal House. He was
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the kid that does the mashed potatoes.
No,
that was Belushi.
That was Belushi. He's Flounder. He's Flounder from Animal House.
Was it fat, dumb, and stupid is no way to go through life, son? Yep,
exactly.
That's right. I remembered he was in that. Yeah, I did see that picture of him that he had passed. Man, we just this year. I mean, it's not 2016 bad yet, but 2017 is trying its damnedest.
Well, we're only halfway through this year. That's the problem.
Yeah, it is taking some people down.
So real quick before we get Willie on the show, just a friendly reminder, we are in fact part of the Gonna Geek Network. You can find a variety of geeky and nerdy shows on there. And what I am going to say is I'm not going to plug a specific show right now, but I'm going to say if you head on over to GonnaGeekNetwork.com, you might see some new show art up on the top, because there might be some new shows that just officially became part of the network that are about to drop their first episodes on there. So hint, hint, there's some fresh blood potentially. I will leave it for you guys to find out. And next week, we'll talk more about that. Or just tune in to the Gonna Geek Cast tomorrow night, where we tell you guys all about it. But I think it's time for us to get Willie on the line. I'm going to need about 30 seconds to do that, guys. So I'm going to play a promo ad for you. Not for the network, not for any products or anything like that. And we'll be back in just a second with our E3 coverage. So give me 1 sec, guys.
My name is Chris Farrell. After 7 days waiting for a new episode, I have come home with only one goal: to podcast about Arrow. But to do so, I can't be the explicit podcaster I once was. To save our listeners' ears, I must be someone else. I must become something else.
65 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. We teased it at the top of the show, the back half of the show. We're going to be talking about E3. It's like magically Willie Nelson appeared out of nowhere when he heard we'd be talking about E3. How the hell did this happen?
I hope you play this like Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, where you actually remember to mention this at the top of the show. Otherwise, nothing really happens. That'd be hilarious. Just a Willie popping up in your face, and you didn't even know it was going to happen.
So
here comes the Willie, straight out the bumhole.
Right here, I'm holding up on camera right now. It's probably not going to focus in. It says, mention E3 Part 2 for the 265 show notes already. So
Chris has himself covered.
We're good.
It says Chris has a vagina.
If I had a vagina,
a lot of
I would
writing
never
for
leave the house. I'd just play all day.
Those are your E3 notes, is that Chris has a vagina? And that took 4 pages?
They had some weird news to tell at this conference.
He also drew said vaginas because he was bored.
That was the other 3 pages?
That was the other 3
Yeah,
pages.
I haven't seen it yet, so I did an artistic rendering of a couple of different variations I think it might be.
Yeah, you seem to think you'll get to see it one day.
No, I'll be... you know what? I think that might be a possibility.
I think Willie's coming for your mangina, Chris. You better run.
Whoa. Whoa.
My money's on the... My money's on the third drawing, the Arby's roast beef sandwich.
My money's on Chris. Because Willie's running for his dinner and Chris is running for his life.
What the... Although I could use some Arby's roast beef sandwich right about that. That sounds delicious. Some Arby's sauce.
See? There we go.
Well, you get a little bit of cheese sauce too and make your own beef and cheddar out of it then. That's where it's at.
I don't do that. I don't like
the beef
cheddar
and
on my
delicious.
roast beef. No, thanks. Just the Arby's sauce and the roast beef and the bread.
Well, while Willie's thinking about food, why don't we...
Fuck this E3. I'm going to Arby's.
All right. Well, so we're going to cancel the back half of the show because we're not going to talk about E3 then. But in all seriousness, let's talk about E3. What we're going to try and do is we're going to run down the 3 major events, that being the Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo events. We'll probably also touch on some of the other things like Bethesda and Ubisoft. And we're going to try and go in order of the major events. So first up is Willie's favorite company. That's Microsoft.
Technically, didn't they go second?
Cortana?
No. Microsoft was before Sony, and then Nintendo was last, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Microsoft.
Yeah, that's what I said, Microsoft.
Oh, I don't know shit about Microsoft.
I know. Luckily, I have notes
Willie,
on
you
what
might have
happened.
heard of this thing called an Xbox. There's this company called Microsoft, and they made a gaming system called the Xbox.
That's
And
my
Xbox-
Xbox. Her name's
Xbox
Sony.
in a box, and an Xbox One and an Xbox One box.
Yes, it's a great meme, isn't it? So if you guys remember episode 264, Willie and I had a friendly bet going for what the price of the Xbox Scorpio was going to be. Just remember that, kids. We'll get to it here in a minute. Let's start with the event. Start with the event here. As we all knew, Microsoft came out hard and hyped the fact they had their new 4K console coming out. Announced the name of it as the Xbox One X. Okay, they should have stuck with Scorpio. It was a far cooler name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how dumb a fucking name this is?
Go for it.
Oh my god! Like they followed Sony's shit by naming it PS4 Pro. That's just keep it the Neo. It was awesome. That was a good name. I mean, but Xbox Scorpio, Project Scorpio, or just Scorpio. That was awesome. No, Xbox One X. The fuck are you thinking?
I don't know what their naming thoughts were, so some background on it. We've talked the technical specs on this show before, but they finally unveiled what the consumer edition would look like, and basically it looks like a slightly smaller but black Xbox One S. Pretty much the same footprint, just a little bit smaller, and Microsoft made a point of saying multiple times throughout this press conference it is the smallest in size console they have developed. So they packed all that horsepower into the smallest chassis of everything. Here's where
you can't get it much bigger.
I'll say, yeah, since Xbox has been putting out, gaming stations that look like 1984 VCRs, it's not like getting smaller. It should be
You
tough.
guys forget the Xbox 360? That's a pretty sexy system, both iterations of it.
The original one?
Yeah, man.
But it was still pretty bulky.
If I hold my 360 in one hand and my PS3 or PS4 in the other hand, that Xbox arm's getting a little tired.
The 360 was smaller than the PS3.
Yeah, we're talking about the original PS3.
The original ones. Let's talk original gen. The original PS3 was ugly.
Well, I wouldn't say ugly.
Sure it was still lighter.
All right, so
I don't know. I never really held a 360. I'm pretty sure I thought it was lighter, but
well, Willie, I'll mail you my 360 maybe, and you can try it.
That's going to cost $72 because of
I
how
don't
much
want
it
it.
fucking weighs.
I will give you a gift card to go to GameStop and get one of your own.
I don't want one.
So let's get back to the Xbox One X. Now remember, I mentioned at the top of the show, we're going to talk price point. Yeah, I was right. I said between $400 to $500 last week. It comes in at $499 with a 1 terabyte hard drive. So Willie, I won the bet. What do I get?
I'm not gonna have to shave off my goatee again, am I?
We didn't bet facial hair.
Oh, you should have bet his goatee. He loves to bet his goatee because he's always
No, Moss. It's longer than it's ever been.
Well, you wouldn't get in trouble for shaving it this time.
True.
No one would care. No one.
So let's keep going on the Xbox One X.
Let's just drop that.
Microsoft made a huge deal of mentioning throughout the show that this is going to give you full 4K gaming all the time. And here's some of the things that they pushed on that. They said there are going to be free 4K upgrades to 5 existing games put out by Microsoft Studios, so you can play at 4K 60 frames per second. This is for Gears of War, Forza Horizon 3, Killer Instinct, Halo Wars 2, and Minecraft. They are all getting the 4K upgrade for free. There are other games not done by Microsoft Studios, such as Final Fantasy 15, Resident Evil 7, and Rocket League, that also get the 4K upgrade. Will, you want to talk about Minecraft, right?
4K upgrade for Minecraft. Are you fucking serious?
So that's about what I said too, but then you go and look at the updated views they gave of it. The water looks really pretty. Look at like the water effects and stuff
of Minecraft looks prettier.
Oh, I know. It's the stupidest thing ever to do at 4K, but it's easy enough for them to do because they own it.
It's like people going to see an animated movie in IMAX 3D. Like the cartoon doesn't change, motherfuckers. It's still just a cartoon.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it hurts my head.
But with the Gears of War one, that should have Chris and Naki interested though. Our Gears heads.
The first Gears of War?
Gears of War 4 is getting a 4K.
Oh, you didn't say the 4.
The 4.
Oh hell, if they did a 4K version of the first one, I bet fucking people would buy it.
Oh, guaranteed.
Oh yeah. No, Microsoft did make a big point of saying that pretty much all of your Microsoft exclusive stuff or Microsoft Studio stuff's all going to be 4K going forward. They're working with developers, so things will be in 4K. When we get into some of the games they did here at this event, pretty much all of them are going to play at 4K on an Xbox One X, but will play at full 1080p or whatnot on the older Xbox One S. And yes, it's really hard to say those without them sounding the same. But here's the thing they dropped in there that surprised the shit out of me, that I was not expecting. Did you guys see the fact that Microsoft came out and said, hey, backwards compatibility being extended to your original Xbox games?
Wait, so Xbox One X will play Xbox One S, Xbox 360 games?
And Xbox Original Gen 1.
And Xbox... So they're back...
No,
wow.
No, Xbox One S will also play 360 and Gen 1 Xbox games.
Wow, that's a lot of backwards compatibility.
So, like Knights of the Republic 1 and 2, those are backwards compatible games that people will be picking up again. And it's going to work the same way as it does for 360 stuff. Put the disc in the drive, it's going to spin it up, confirm you own it, download a copy from their cloud site, put it on your hard drive, and you play.
Wait, that's how it works?
Yeah.
It has to download it to it?
So they've made changes to the game so that they'll play properly on the Xbox One. So really, they're not playing off the disc. They're going out to the server, pulling down the copy of the game that's been updated so that it will run properly on the Xbox One and playing it that way.
Well, I mean, they have to change it because if you try and put in Halo 1 into your Xbox One X or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you don't need a third hand to hold up the gigantic controller that originally came with the original Xbox.
Well, and did you see
what it means is it's not actual backwards compatibility. It's access to games you previously owned in the Xbox system.
Yes,
which it was nice. I will admit that it's pretty.
It's probably better and cheaper to do it that way too.
The key here to remember is you have to have the disc because it verifies that you own the game by checking the disc every time you launch it. The exception is, remember, they also announced the Xbox Game Pass stuff a while back. It's like $15 a month, all you can eat games that they put on there basically of a back catalog of stuff. Those you just download down as long as you have a Game Pass, you can keep playing them. So Microsoft's putting a huge effort in their backwards compatibility stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool, came out of nowhere, and now I'm kind of like, oh, this is awesome. I held on to some of my original Xbox games that I really loved because I'd play them on my 360 occasionally. I can't wait to fire them up on my Xbox One. That's going to be fun.
I still have like 7 360 games I haven't finished yet.
Oh, well, I mean, you don't need to upgrade then. Problem solved.
No, I don't need to upgrade. I had thought about the Xbox One X, X1 X, when I saw one game announced that I thought was going to be exclusive to Xbox, and then when I found out that it wasn't, I was like, nah, I don't need to upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad he mentioned games. Let's touch on some of the games. We're not going to do all of them, and then we'll transition over to the Sony stuff. If you guys didn't know, Microsoft showed off 42 games on stage at their E3 event. 42.
Wow.
and I believe 22 of them exclusive to Xbox One / Windows 10. That's the important caveat.
I was about to say,
yes,
because it's not are any games exclusive to the Xbox only.
No,
any games.
No, because Microsoft's position now is they want them to be on both Xbox and Windows 10.
Yeah, so what they are is they're Microsoft exclusive.
Yes.
Because just because you can play it on Xbox doesn't mean you can play it on your PC or your Mac if you're not running Windows 10.
Correct. It's a play to get people to buy them through the Windows Marketplace. And they've had their Games Anywhere initiative, like with Halo Wars 2 and Gears of War 4, that if you bought it for the PC or you bought it for Xbox, you also got a copy for the other system. So like I can play Gears of War 4 on my PC now because I have a copy of it that came with my purchase on the Xbox side of the house.
Nice.
It's what they've been moving towards. They're moving towards using the Xbox as an entry point to sell you games, basically. And if you don't want to be an Xbox gamer, that's cool. You can play it on your Windows machine then too. Either way, they're selling you the software. The software.
Well, and when the new machine costs as much as a cheap Microsoft 10 running PC,
actually, go look at PC Gamer, who just published an article today. If you want to build a system of comparable specs to the Xbox One X, it's going to cost you about $700 right now.
Yeah, but the difference being that you could then later upgrade that PC.
Sure. But the problem is the graphics card you're buying for that right now is about $350. That hurts. That hurts a lot. So let's run down a few of the games, and then I'll let Willie do his rundown for Sony because he's far more knowledgeable there. And this is in alphabetical order, not in any order of preference or anything. But the first one's probably the one I'm most excited about because it comes from the good friends at BioWare.
I was like, it's in order of preference. You're wrong. It's in order of preference.
No, it's not, because Assassin's Creed would not be number 2 on this list.
Oh, that's.
But you're starting off with.
There's only one on the list I care about, and it's the first one. So.
So Anthem, the first one's coming out. This is BioWare's new IP that they've been teasing for a while. This is the game that Mass Effect died for, and what I mean by that is the BioWare Edmonton studio made this game, and BioWare Montreal was given Mass Effect because the focus was primarily on Anthem. So Mass Effect died so this game could come. We didn't find out a ton about it. Looks like BioWare / EA's take on how to do Destiny, crossed with Titanfall, crossed with Iron Man. But it looked effing gorgeous.
Right. And honestly, if you're a new Mass Effect had to die for this game to be what it is, I'm okay with that.
I'm not.
But then again, I'm not a Mass Effect fan, so.
Yeah, I love Mass Effect. But
you do it, but yeah, I've seen those videos, and I've never been, I have to get a Mass Effect game. This game I have to own. The preview video of the gameplay I saw of Anthem, I have to fucking own this game. It looks amazing.
I'm really hoping they cross-play them too, across different systems. Because that was, and I'll touch on this real quick, they also did some stock talk on Minecraft, and brought up the fact it's going to be cross-play with Nintendo Switch, PC, and Xbox. So if they could extend that cross-play to other games like that, it'd be pretty cool if I had Anthem on my Xbox and you guys had it on PlayStation, and we could party up one day. But we'll get to the Sony piece of the equation later in the show. That's what we call a tease. Willie, what do you think about Anthem?
I have not seen anything of it.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch the gameplay. Yeah,
it looks really cool.
You're a freelancer who keeps a set of suits, like Tony Stark, like exo suits that you can swap between, where different suits are set for different things. And like they show a dude flying around with like just a regular gun and stuff, and then his buddy is in a big ass like armored tank mech with a mortar cannon on the back. So like he's a bit slower but way tougher, and like each person apparently has multiple suits. It looks fucking amazing.
And much like Destiny, it's supposed to be fairly easy to party up with a bunch of people, as you can drop a bunch of friends in a game and go off and do an event or something like that. It looks really cool. Next up on the list, I already mentioned it, Assassin's Creed Origins. This is going to be also in 4K on the Xbox One, much like Anthem. Xbox One X, excuse me. This is Ubisoft's return to Assassin's Creed after taking a year off. It looks pretty, but I don't give two shits about Assassin's Creed games, I'll be honest.
With the most expensive exclusive pack of a video game ever, isn't it? The $800 version?
Oh, yeah, I saw something on that, and I was like, that's effing ridiculous.
Yeah, they were making fun of it on At Midnight, and it was pretty funny what Chris Hardwick had to say. Yeah, I don't know how much how much. There's never been a game I've liked enough to buy an $800 version of any game ever.
I think the most I've spent on a game was $150 for the collector's edition of Arkham Knight because it came with a badass Batman statue, and I was going to buy the one that came with the Batmobile, but they canceled it because they couldn't make a good Batmobile.
Yeah, I wanted to get the one Arkham one that came with the Nightwing glow in the dark Escrimas, where they actually lit up. But I mean, even that was only I think like $250, which is still outrageous for a game. But yeah, an $800.
There's people that'll buy it.
Yeah, there is. So they wouldn't make it if someone wasn't going to fork over the money. I just don't think they're going to sell many.
No, I don't think so either. Willie, you going to play yourself some Assassin's Creed Origins?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
The only one I've really played was maybe a quarter to half, somewhere in there, of 3. That's the only one I've ever played.
It's not a game that's in my wheelhouse. My dad loves the Assassin's Creed games, so I'm sure he'll be playing it. And what's interesting on this one, set in ancient Egypt, which could be an interesting setting.
Because isn't this one the furthest back they've gone?
It could be. I'm not sure. I haven't played enough Assassin's Creed to be able to tell you definitively.
Yeah, I think 3 is the only one that I played.
Something like that.
Yeah, so like possibly the start of the actual Brotherhood.
Yeah, it is. It's like the origin of the Assassins.
Okay. Next up, I have the list just because Microsoft have been teasing it forever. Crackdown 3. It finally is getting released at some point. Terry Crews is going to be the main character in it. And he asked if he could be a playable character, and Microsoft said, sure, why not? So this has been something Microsoft's been teasing for like 3 or 4 years. I think they said it's coming sometime in the next calendar year. I forgot to put that in my notes, so I don't honestly remember. Yeah, okay. I liked Crackdown 1. Crackdown 2 was poop. You guys might remember Crackdown was the game that came out, and they said, hey, if you buy this, you get access to the Halo 3 beta. And that's why a bunch of people bought that game, is so they could play Halo 3. That being said, Crackdown was actually a fun game.
Was Crackdown the one where you were a cop, but it was like Grand Theft Auto?
Yes.
Or it was open world, everything was crazy, but you had like a power suit on or whatever?
Or you got powers of some kind. I can't remember exactly how it was. I've played it. I enjoyed it.
I want to say I think I played either a demo of the first one or I borrowed a buddy's copy of the first one. I think
it was cell shaded as well, right?
Yes, and that's their key thing here is they cell shade.
So not to be confused with Borderlands. No, not it's a game that's not cell shaded. It's in the top of my head. I like the games. What is it? Get out of my brain, Johnny Gat.
Oh, Saints Row.
Yeah, Saints Row.
Saints
They look kind of similar.
Saints Row is fucking amazing. So that one's coming also October 7th. If you like racing games, Forza Motorsport 7 looked beautiful. I don't give 2 shits about racing games. It just looked pretty.
Although didn't it have an update recently with the Hot Wheels?
I thought they did
that
something like
fun.
that.
Oh, did they add Hot Wheels to it?
Yes, it looked pretty good. I will admit that.
Yeah.
All I know is that I don't think I've played any of them past Forza 2, I think. But all I know is since 5 and beyond, every time they release their video, it takes me a minute to realize it's not a video from the Indy 500. Because dear God, those games have gotten so detailed in their graphics. They look almost like purely CGI realistic. They're really close to almost looking just like video.
Come on now, if you're gonna do that, you gotta be talking about Gran Turismo.
That's what I was gonna bring up. Gran Turismo is Sony's exclusive. That is, Forza and Gran Turismo are basically neck and neck. They're both gorgeous looking. If you're a racing fan, you like that game regardless.
No, not a racing fan. A sim racing fan.
Me. You're correct.
Because I hate sim racers.
I do too.
I love Mario Kart and shit like that, but fuck sim racers.
Mario Kart is the shit, my friend.
I have to brake till 5 miles an hour to take a little turn. Fuck this shit.
This is bullshit.
Yeah, no. You power slide with Toad.
Next up, I had this one is not an exclusive. I don't think I took poor notes on this one. Metro Exodus. This is what they actually opened the conference with. It is the latest installment in the Metro survival horror post-apocalyptic games.
Is that exclusive?
I can't remember. It might be exclusive to Xbox One and Windows. I'm not 100%
I remember
sure.
the first one was exclusive for a bit, then they released both the first one and the second one for the PS3, or was it straight to the PS4? I can't remember, but
I've got it on
I remember
PC.
the first game was exclusive for a bit.
Yeah, I've got Metro 2 on my PC, if I recall correctly. It looks really good, and I'll probably be considering it when we get closer to launch. 2 more I had on here. We'll skip over Minecraft because I touched on that. Sea of Thieves is the new game by Rare. It's kind of their open world pirate adventure game Basically, you sail the seas with your pals, you raid pirate ships, you hunt treasure, and it's kind of another take on the Destiny kind of thing, it seemed like, where you and your buddies go on raids and do stuff out in the world. I'm not sure it's really for me.
Can we talk about something for a second?
Go for it.
If there's one thing Microsoft fucked up more than anything, it's they fucked up when they bought Rare.
Yeah.
They squandered them like nothing. Oh, you're going to make a bunch of Kinect games. Oh, my God, they fucked that up.
You know what
so
they
much.
needed to make, though, right, Willie? You know what they need to make.
Another Conquer game.
Conquer's Bad Fur Day 2. We need it.
Well, I mean, no, but they can't do it because Microsoft's a bunch of dickbags.
Was that the game that Rare was popular for? Was Conquer?
Well, I mean, they started off with Killer Instinct on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, that's
Kong
right.
Country.
They're the guys that did Killer Instinct. Yeah, and DK Country. Okay. Now I remember that company.
Yeah, they did a lot of shit, and then fucking Microsoft bought them, and it's just, what have they done anything good besides that Rare replay?
Not really.
Because goddamn it, $30, and you could have all 30 games by them. It's like, what are you really? That's the best thing Microsoft ever fucking did. I'm not even sure if anyone ever, at Microsoft even did it.
Beats me. Last game I want to talk about that the Microsoft had was State of Decay 2, because everyone needs a zombie survival game. It's exclusive to Windows 10 and Xbox One. It looked like it could be kind of fun. I'm just going to keep my eye on it going forward and see how it develops. Willie cares nothing for this one. So overall, Microsoft's big thing was push the Xbox One X, push 4K.
I have another zombie apocalypse game to worry about.
Tease. So with that in mind, this is going to wrap up our conversation on the Microsoft side of the house. Really, all you need to know is the emphasis was on 4K gaming, and if you want to have the best experience gaming on Xbox, get the Xbox One X. If you want to be able just to play things at an affordable price and you don't care about 4K or you don't have a 4K TV, buy the Xbox One S, as they just dropped it in $50. Dropped it $50 in price, I believe. So that's pretty much
$50.
Yeah, if they dropped it to 50, I'd have one tomorrow. But what is the price point now on the Xbox One S?
All of the bundles and all of the console prices were dropped $50, so it's going to vary across the board. Most of them are around $250 right now.
Okay,
which is not
terrible. I don't have a 4K TV, so that might be something I might look at around Christmas time.
Half the price of your Xbox One X. So that's their value proposition they're making there. And that's going to wrap up the Microsoft coverage. Willie, I'm going to let you kick us off for Sony. I did not watch all of the Sony events, so I'm going to defer to you on a lot of it.
I kind of don't blame you.
Oh.
Because last year's was so much. Although, I mean, anything they did this year could not top last year's. They had that full orchestra and everything. God, that was... this year, what they have? Performance artists. You're going to fuck up if you hire a performance artist for anything. Have them hanging down from ropes. Just no performance artists. God damn it. Get that shit out of here. There's two big things that excited me. One of them was in the pre-show before they even started the conference that they had in like the little live feed. A game called Super Hot.
I don't know anything about it.
Pretty much it's a little tiny game. I understand for not watching, but it looks super fun. Pretty much you're in a room or whatever, and there's enemies, and they're all like red wireframe type things, and they're all trying to kill you. And time only moves when you move, so you have to move, find a gun or some kind of weapon, and start killing everyone else.
Interesting.
Everyone dies like glass, so it's awesome. But they announced Super Hot VR coming this summer. I've just been wanting to play Super Hot without the VR. Now they're throwing in VR. I was like, fuck y'all, I cannot wait to try this. Oh my god.
Is it a first-person shooter?
It's it is way too weird to describe. You just have to look up a video. I think the guys at Funhouse, that's Funhaus, they have some gameplay of it. I would highly recommend that. It's just funny. It's more like a combat by words and things. I'm a professional.
That's us. We're super professional.
Yeah. It's just weird to describe. You just got to look at a video and say, oh, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, the VR version, I am looking forward to that. Then they started off with during the actual show, Days Gone. That's the post-apocalyptic zombie thing they're going to be doing, which is pretty much. If you haven't seen that, these zombies are more like World War Z zombies. There's that many of them. They're that fast, and they climb over every goddamn thing.
So they're not zombies. They're rage monsters.
Sure, let's go with that. I don't even care. But you're pretty much your character is Daryl from Walking Dead.
What if I want to be Merle?
You're Merle from Walking Dead, and you're also missing a fucking hand apparently too. Yeah, that one actually looks interesting. The last year, I'm going to be saying this a lot. Last year's footage of the game looked better, but they showed a lot of the story, and it ended on a zombie grizzly bear coming to attack them.
Nice. I do like zombie animals. Zombie animals are nice because you can have a scene in a zoo.
Oh God.
Yeah,
zombie giraffes. You're never going to see their heads just come down.
Yeah. Zombie giraffe coming at you through the sky roof. Zombie monkeys sneaking all over the motherfucking place.
Oh, God, monkeys, no.
Imagine
zombie faces getting thrown at you.
Yeah, imagine little super strong zombified chimpanzees.
Oh God, no. Let's skip past this. And then next thing they had was Monster Hunter World. I've never really played a Monster Hunter. I know I get the general gist of it. You go start a mission, and it preloads this. What's the term like Diablo when all the maps become just randomized?
That's just the random generated maps, I guess.
No, but there's a term for it.
Roguelike? No, that's not it.
That's a whole genre.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's like you have like something to go kill. You get better loot as you go through, and you just make better weapons. They get better and more and more. It looks interesting. I was excited for Monster Hunter at one point in time, but it's not on my radar really right now. And then you mentioned this earlier, Chris. Shadow of the Colossus. I remember when they first showed it, I was like, that bridge and castle thing, that looks an awful like Shadow of the Colossus. Wait, is this Shadow of the Colossus? Oh shit, it's Shadow of the Colossus. There goes the Wanderer. Yeah, so it's a completely remade from the ground up. It's not just a remaster. They making it anew. So that's going to be kind of interesting. And of course, people are very divided on this next game. At one point, they're like, are you seriously re-releasing this fucking game again? Skyrim. But this one is Skyrim for the PSVR.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
VR Skyrim.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. I mean, some people are saying, well, what's next? Skyrim for my microwave? What the fuck?
If they could, they would.
But they're also, the news is they're not making the Elder Scrolls 6 currently. So there's also that bit of news that people are a little upset about. But yeah, VR, I mean, if it was like, I don't know, because I've already started to play Skyrim twice now. I don't know if I have the energy, even if it's in VR, to go through it again. Like, I already started this shit. I don't know if I can go through it a third time. VR or not. The next, God of Motherfucking War.
And
cool. I do want to start with, they have the release date of early 2018. Just to start that off with. It looks very good. I'm guessing it's going to be like open world-ish. I don't know. They have a lot of this Norse mythology coming through. And people are speculating that Loki's trying to get Kratos to do some badass shit.
So is this the one where Kratos is a Viking now?
Yep.
Technically, no, he's still a Spartan. Because in this trailer, they actually showed off some of it. I'm not even sure if it's supposed to be a remake or if it's just supposed to be a continuation just many years down the road. Nothing has been said. I mean, last year I thought I heard that's a completely new story, is redoing it. But because they actually showed like a Spartan, I think they even called him a Spartan 2 or something like that. But like, older, and it had a Spartan warrior on it and all that. And that Greek kind of artistry.
Interesting.
And I don't know, let's have bets. You think his kid's gonna die in the game?
Probably.
Or is it even gonna be his actual flesh and blood kid?
It's
I don't
not
even
his
know.
flesh and blood, I bet.
That's a good point. Because I mean, he only mentions like your mother's knife and all that kind of stuff. Let's see here. What's next? Oh yes, and they close it out with the big one, the greatest one I'm most excited about. I know Chris wants to get a PS4 for it as well. I'm talking about Spider-Man.
You know, he's not joking. In the pre-show, I told these guys after that aired, I was looking on Craigslist in the area at PS4 prices, and there was one for $150, and I almost pulled the trigger, except for the fact I'm pretty sure it was probably stolen.
And I still think you should have got it. You didn't steal it.
Hell, it might have been mine, my old one that got stolen.
There you go. You could have bought Willie's PS4.
I would have sent you mine. You could have sent my old one back. I would have been happy as shit. Oh my god! But let's see here. Ooh, what? Oh yeah, possible. It's possible that the fighting system is kind of like Arkham, the Arkham Batman games. You know, where the punch, dodge, punch more. It does seem like it could be like that. I hope it is, because that's a good fighting system for superhero games.
Yeah, I've played all the other Spider-Man games, and usually that's the problem, is how they try to make Spider-Sense work. And this looks like they straight copied the Arkham fighting style. And from what they showed in the gameplay, it looks like it works really well.
Oh yeah, and it is going to be open world. Although, you know, some like specific storyline things might cut you off to only a part of it, so you can, you know, for storyline missions, you gotta, you know, some shit's got to be like that. And it has been. Actually, no, I'm gonna say that one for last. From the little gameplay footage, it looks very cinematic. Like they're emphasizing this cinematic look to this.
Yeah, lots of cutscenes.
Who's the fucking developers? Insomniac. I want to go break in, because I know they have a place somewhere around here. I think in Eden. I want to go break into that fucking place. Like, let me play this goddamn game. I'm playing this fucking game. Name's Willie Nelson.
I'm playing the game. Well.
Don't care.
Good luck.
Oh yeah, and of course, and also the gameplay. Spider-Man's throwing around quips like it's nothing.
As he should.
Left and right. And it does have a 2018 release date. Don't know when in the 2018, but it is going to be 2018. Sorry for you people that thought it was going to be coming out with Homecoming, because there was no way that was going to happen.
No, there's no way. They're not ready for that. They need to put the right polish on this and not screw it up, and they're doing all of the right things right now.
And this is the biggest part about this damn game. They have confirmed it. Your webs have to fucking hit a goddamn building. They're physics based.
Well, that might be the biggest part for you. For other people, the last cutscene of the trailer was the biggest part.
Oh, no. I'm getting to that. Oh, don't worry. That's on here. That's on the list right here. And I got a quip for that, too. And in the back end of it, I put Miles Morales cameo, exclamation mark. There's 3 of them. Wait, is there 4? No, just 3. And then then I'm stealing this joke. I don't care. This game's so Marvel. It even has a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
I have no issue.
Yeah, I still have an issue with the costume. That I don't know who designed it. The excess white it looks weird, but the gameplay, the mechanics, the cutscenes in and out of actually doing gameplay, the fact that they show like basically, I mean, almost like Arkham-like fighting, along with Arkham-like snagging guys and webbing them to stuff. Like, it really looks like they took all the best parts of the Batman games and applied them to the Spider-Man world and the physics of a more gymnastic, superpowered character that uses webbings. And then, yeah, everything they showed makes this. I don't care that there's extra white on the suit. I no longer give a damn, because it looks so good. I'm all in.
And I'm also hoping for alternative costumes to be used.
There has
to be.
Yeah, there's never been a Spider-Man game since like an 8-bit first Nintendo where you didn't at least have 2 costumes.
Oh no, Super Nintendo was a Spider-Man Maximum Carnage. That you only had 1 costume there, although you could also play as Venom too. But that's not.
I mean, but look at what they've done with the Arkham games, where buy this DLC pack and unlock 6 different costumes. I mean, when I bought the Game of the Year edition, or when I bought the remakes for the Xbox One, where they upped the graphics and all, it came with all the DLC. So like, there's Batman Beyond, there's Batman Earth 1, Batman v Superman. There's all sorts of stuff in there, and you're like, holy crap. Costumes and skins, that's easy for them to do. I'm sure they're going to do it, and then microtransaction the hell out of you to buy them all.
And especially now, because we're talking. I believe this is the first Spider-Man game post Web Warriors and post Spider-Verse. So Marvel has done comics now where they introduced every single alternate version of Spider-Man you can think of, and they literally had comics where there were over 50 versions of Peter Parker's suit in one issue. So yeah, they could do a microtransaction for every Spider-Verse costume. Like anything they can think of, it exists. Like they can go nuts with those now.
I hope so. Let's get some Spider-Man 2099 in there.
They need the punk rock UK Spider-Man where he's got the spikes and the leather jacket and he plays bass guitar.
Spider UK.
Yeah. Oh, and Spider Britain.
Yeah.
Spider Britain's awesome. Where he's got the Captain Britain powers. That's a good one.
And so far we only know of 2 enemies in the game. I mean, you got Wilson Fisk in there and what's his name? Mr. Negative?
Mr. Negative, yeah.
Negative, yeah.
Who the fuck is that?
He's new.
He's new. He's been in the Dan Slott run. He showed up about 2 years ago. He has his personality changes as his power turns on, and his skin and everything. He actually becomes a photo negative of himself, but his touch can poison people, and it basically puts you under his control. So yeah, he's got this weird kind of mind control thing, but he has to touch you. And they did an updated thing with his powers where they turned it into a drug, where people were like getting mind wiped by using they somehow figured out how to derive a drug from his superpowers.
And I do want to mention some of the mechanics they also put in the game too. Like, I know you guys saw the little thing where he has from the Homecoming where he whips like a little thing on a wall and somebody's come running and it trips wires it and pulls them over to it.
Yep.
Yeah, like a delayed web grenade.
Pretty much. He's like, oh, well, that guy's fucked. And also though, I love how he also got to use the steel beam that was on the crane and just swung and hit like 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
It's like awesome. Means environmental attacks are going to be used because I remember the whole time of the game was playing, it started showing I think like a little trigger for L1 on environmental things in the background.
Yeah. So yeah, it seemed like everywhere you were facing while you were fighting, you had the option to tag one of your bumper buttons to interact with the environment to get that involved with the attack.
That's going to be very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And one last thing, I swear to God, please don't do what Spider-Man 2 did, the greatest Spider-Man game there has been. Please, no fucking little kids losing their damn balloons every 5 minutes. You have to go after it.
You didn't like the balloons. Oh,
fuck those little kids.
Wow.
Honestly, I'll take the balloons over the goddamn pizza delivery.
Actually, I didn't mind that at all. I mean, those didn't just pop up. You actually had to go and do it.
Yeah, but some of those missions were a huge pain in the ass.
But that's part of the fun is just a swinging mechanic. Like, yeah, this is fun. That's the most fun of the game was just going through and swinging everywhere.
I think I'm still a bigger fan of Web of Shadows, the name of the Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 was damn good, but I think Web of Shadows is my favorite so far.
That game is like over 10 years old. It came out in 2004 or something like that, 2005.
Well, yeah, that was the one. There was 1,000 Spider-Man icons hidden throughout the city.
Yeah.
I think on my account, I think I've collected like 700 of them.
Well, I had it over here. Where'd it go? Well, it's always over here somewhere.
It's somewhere safe, right?
There you go.
I mean, I'm guessing so. Oh, here it is. The PS2.
Nice.
Damn, this thing's fucking heavy. What is in this?
That's where he hid his porn.
That was one of those ones that had like an 80-page booklet.
You ain't lying. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that one came with a novel for how to play the game. Yeah. That shit's beefy. It's beefy, I says.
Oh, no, Beef's on a different podcast.
Yeah, it's a different show.
Someone say it's sexier podcast. Ooh. I would disagree because I'm not on it. What's up, ladies?
You can tweet to him, ladies, at South Porky.
You goddamn right you can.
But you won't.
Probably not, but I could still dream.
Don't kill the dream, Bachman. Come on. Fucking A, man.
Wait, that's what Bachman does. He kills dreams.
That's what I'm here for.
Dream crusher, man.
He doesn't have any dreams of his own, so he's got to crush others' dreams.
Damn right.
So, Willie, do you have anything else from the Sony event you wanted to talk about?
That's all I wrote down.
So Spider-Man's the key was the best thing out of it then?
Yes, and the second one has to be Super Hot VR. look up some gameplay of the non-VR and some what's that guy's name? Jacksepticeye, I think he's also a big YouTuber guy. He does the VR version of Super Hot. Okay. And I'll give you a better idea what this VR version is going to be like. I cannot wait for Super Hot VR. Just saying.
What I'm taking away from this is you can't wait for it, everyone.
Apparently,
right.
So let's go to Nintendo next. It was a short but sweet event. They showed off a lot of games, and I'm feeling better and better about my decision to buy a Switch as time goes on. So some of the stuff they touched on: Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Holiday 2017. If you're a fan of the Xenoblade series, you'll probably like this one. I could care one.
Too bad they can't match up what they did with the first Xenoblade Chronicles game. The remember his sword in the game had that big like circle cut out, like it was like the hilt, then that big weird circle, and then the blade.
Vaguely,
the game disc actually had hit like it was like a shot from behind him, and the big circle cut out of the blade was actually the center of the game disc.
That's kind of cool.
But too bad because the games are not on disc anymore on Switch, are they? They're like little
cartridges.
SD cards, right?
They're not SD cards. They're some proprietary
they're
format.
I mean.
Yeah, they're bigger than an SD card. It's probably, realistically, to give you a comparison, it's probably like the size of my thumb tip. That's the best analogy I can make. I'll bring a game down sometime so you guys can see on the show. How about that?
I thought you meant like you're going to come visit me. Man, you just broke my dreams like Bachman.
I could bring the Switch with me. It's real easy to do that.
I thought you were going to come hang out with me.
Well, maybe that'll happen one day.
There'll be ladies here.
Next up on the list of stuff, an untitled Kirby game. The key to this one is Nintendo said in their event that there would be some kind of cooperative effect or effort in here. So it seems like it could be a cooperative Kirby game. All we really know is they're doing a Kirby game coming in 2018, but it's one of the Nintendo games from my childhood that I loved, so I will probably consider buying it.
They've gotten weirder and weirder and weirder with their Kirby games.
Well, Kirby games, they're like a drug trip, man. You're on a drug trip when you design that game, I think, or something, because they're out there.
Yeah, and it's a Kirby game, so it's going to suck.
Whoa.
I see what he did there.
That's his superpower.
He went for the pun.
And you fell for it.
I did at first, and then I thought about it. Let's see. Next one that also had a lot of fans excited, including myself. They're doing another Pokemon game for the Switch, but it is by the core Pokemon team, i.e. the folks that make the games on the DS right now and on the Game Boy going back as far as Pokemon Red and Blue. So there is some kind of Pokemon RPG by that team coming to the Switch. We don't know when. Nintendo didn't even give a release date. They just teased that it was happening.
Oh, you mean what people have been wanting for a long time? And
yeah,
they just haven't done it?
Of course they're going to do it, because Pokemon equals cash. Let's be honest.
Yeah. I mean, why have they not had a console version of Pokemon?
They did in the N64, and I think they did something on GameCube.
No, I'm not talking about Pokemon Stadium or that one where it's like a limited rundown of like not all the
really,
I'm talking
about Pokemon Snap. Damn it, you forgot about Pokemon Snap.
That's fuck you, Chris. No one cares about Pokemon Snap, and if you do say you did, you're a fucking liar.
Wow,
and a piece of shit.
Fighting words.
Are fighting words. So we know there is a Pokemon game coming. No ETA on when. Next up, this is probably one of the ones I'm most excited for. Metroid Prime 4. We did not get anything other than a simple title card they showed on screen. We know it's in development. We don't know when. And we know Nintendo, it takes as long as it takes for them to get something like that out. But the Metroid Prime series, if you played that on your GameCube, you know how good it was. Metroid Prime coming to the Switch. That is awesome. I am super stoked. I will buy that.
And what's this right here? Metroid Prime, the first one for the GameCube.
See, there you go. It's like Willie's prepared for this without even knowing it.
Oh, no, just all my games are right here.
Oh, well, I'll take away the credit I was giving you. Next up, what I want to talk about, there is an untitled Yoshi game also coming sometime in 2018. It looks like a side-scrolling platformer. Kind of has a resemblance to Yoshi's Woolly World, that game.
Did you say Willy World? Willie's World?
Woolly.
I am Harry, so I am like a Willy.
Oh.
And where Kirby sucks, Yoshi licks and blows.
That is true.
Did you guys ever notice
Yoshi doesn't swallow?
Oh, he swallows, but he spits it right back up.
In Super Mario World, he could eat the stuff. He'd eat like the fruit and stuff like that, or he could eat bad guys and poop them out an egg or something like that.
Well, that's what I was getting at. Did you ever notice back on the Super Nintendo when Mario was riding Yoshi, whenever he stuck his tongue out, you know why Yoshi stuck his tongue out?
Because Mario squeezed his sides, I thought.
No, because Mario's bashing him in the back of the fucking skull. No, seriously, go back and look at it.
He's like punching him in the head.
He's punching him in the back of the head.
That's
like,
awesome.
Jesus Christ, Mario. Calm it down there.
They have a very abusive relationship.
Where's PETA for this shit?
We don't need no PETA around here. So
yeah, fuck you, PETA. I don't give a shit. Send your hate mail to Willie D. Nelson at South Corky at Twitter or what the fuck ever. I want some of your goddamn hate mail so I can read it, print it out, and wipe my ass with it.
There you go. That's real environmentally friendly.
On non-biodegradable paper.
Woo! Next thing up, the first DLC pack for Zelda Breath of the Wild drops on June 30th. It is predominantly the Master Trials pack they were talking about, which is kind of like a horde mode that once you beat, it superpowers the Master Sword indefinitely.
Yeah, I still want to play Breath of the Wild, but that doesn't sound entertaining to me.
It doesn't. Now, the thing with this is the DLC pack is
everyone loves.
Yeah, it's a great game. This DLC pack is a two-parter. You pay your $20, you get part 1 in June, and then part 2, which is additional story, comes, they're thinking, somewhere around holiday time frame. Nintendo, I don't believe, officially announced anything.
Well, Nintendo doesn't like DLC.
Jesus, delayed 2-stage DLC now?
That's not the first time. You buy a season pass on something. Like I bought on Watch Dogs 2. I just got new DLC like last weekend.
Oh, yeah. I guess, yeah, it is basically the same thing as a season pass. Yeah. I didn't think about that.
That's basically what they did as a season pass.
It just sounds weird.
Yeah. Well, remember, what's the last thing Nintendo did DLC for? Mario Kart on the Wii U?
They did DLC for that? Oh, yeah. Or you get Link or something.
I think so. I don't know. It all came on my Switch. I didn't have to worry about it. A few other things on here. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. This came from the Ubisoft announcement, actually. But it looks like XCOM with Mario and the Ubisoft Rabbids. So, like, tactical RPG set in the Mushroom Kingdom with the Rabbids and Mario supporting characters.
And as long as there's Rabbids, this will be a drunk play with your friends game.
And you know what? Oh my God. I wanted to shit on this so bad when I first saw that this was coming out. Then I saw the trailer and I went, son of a gun, this actually looks fun.
Oh, yeah.
I might want to buy this. It comes out on August 29th, so we've only got like 2 months until it comes out. I was like, this could be fun. This could be one of those games that's fun just to pick up and play when you're waiting for a movie to start in the theater or something like that. Because it's pretty much XCOM. Willie's brain hurts as I talk about this.
Oh my God, it hurts so much. I mean, that doesn't sound neither good nor bad because I don't really like the gameplay of XCOM. I mean, I can see where the fun is. It's just not my type of gameplay. But the hell, who came up with this?
Crazy people.
So from what I recall, Ubisoft came to Nintendo and said, hey, we want to do this. And they licensed Mario and the Mushroom Kingdom stuff from Nintendo to make this game. So this is not a Nintendo-developed game. This is Ubisoft who licensed the product and built it. And it looks fun, I'll be honest. I had no expectation. I wanted to crap on it, like I said. But at the end, I'm like, son of a bitch, I want to play this.
Is it not weirding anyone else out that Nintendo's actually letting companies license their characters?
Nintendo, I think, has realized after they had many issues with the Wii U and things like that, that they're going to have to take some chances like that. And let's be honest.
The big ones they've done recently was Sonic versus Mario, or whatever the title is, the Olympic Games.
Which is tough to find.
And then really, whatever. Then the other one was the Zelda one that was made by the same guys who did Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, yeah. Hyrule Warriors, I think is what it was, or something like that.
Yeah, Hyrule Warriors, that's right. Which is, but I'm surprised they ever let anyone do it after the horrible CDI Philips Legend of Zelda games.
Well, that was over 20 years ago.
Which were notoriously bad. Mm-hmm. Nintendo holds grudges. Have you seen a Nintendo product movie?
That's true.
Since Super Mario Brothers?
That's fair.
That's true. They hold serious grudges. But yeah, no, this looks like fun.
Yeah, so just a few more to have on the Nintendo rundown, and we'll start wrapping things up. This is one that we'd all thought was coming. Confirmed, Rocket League comes to the Switch in holiday 2017. If you haven't played Rocket League, that game is like crack. Here's where it gets interesting. There's going to be some exclusive Nintendo content on there, so you'll be able to put Nintendo elements on your cars, be it a Mario or Luigi hat, or flags from the Mushroom Kingdom or things like that. But the big thing they announced, cross-play between the Switch, the PC, and the Xbox. Very similar to what you get with Minecraft. Now notice, Willie, did I not mention a system in this crossplay?
Oh, I'm there with you on this one.
Yeah. So, Willie, the big takeaway here is PlayStation, Sony isn't involved in this crossplay. Willie, how do you feel about this?
Why? Why not just play nice? It makes no sense.
Did you see the interview?
It makes zero sense. No, I have not seen any interview because it just pisses me off just thinking about it.
So there was an interview that Sony gave about, specifically it was more on Minecraft than Rocket League, if I recall correctly, asking why, hey, if Nintendo's playing nice and the PC side of the house is playing nice on Minecraft, why aren't we getting PlayStation crossplay? What's the reason? And in separate interviews, folks from Microsoft said, we just have to flip a few switches. We're ready to play with PlayStation. It's easy. Sony's excuse basically was, we have a commitment to our customers to have a clean environment that we control for people, and you don't necessarily get that in other environments like that, and we can't control that. So basically they're saying...
Wait, hold on. Before you get to that, that sounds like something Nintendo would say.
And that's where the irony of this statement is. They're pulling a Nintendo, basically, and what they're trying to say is Xbox Live's an effing cesspool. Let's be honest at times. And it's also true on PSN, I'm sure, depending on the games. But here's the thing.
It's just, people are assholes no matter where you go.
Here's the thing.
As long as it's online and anonymous, people are assholes.
You can't make that excuse that you need to control what the experience is like in that regard. When friggin' Nintendo, the most kid-friendly system out there that does the most with parental controls and trying to segment things off so that kids aren't exposed to things, is all on board with like, oh yeah, we want Minecraft and Rocket League to work. It doesn't make any sense. And, that's a huge... If you have both, say, an Xbox and a PlayStation and you were going to play Rocket League, you might be leaning more towards the Xbox side of the house because you can play with your friends that have Switches or PCs and things like that too.
That was going to be my question. So Rocket League is available on PS4?
Yes.
Yeah, that's where it first came out at.
So it's one game available on the 4 main system types, but on 3 of them you can play with all your friends, and one of them you can only play with people that have that system.
No. You can cross-play with PC players on the PS4 for Rocket League. That was from the very beginning when it first came out.
Not Xbox and Nintendo.
That is correct.
And it carries over very similarly with Minecraft. Only PlayStation can only go to other people on PlayStation, whereas you have Switch, Nintendo, mobile.
I just said different.
Yeah.
You didn't listen to me at all, did you, Chris?
I did.
Fuck you, Chris.
All right, then. So Rocket League coming holiday 2017. I'll be buying the shit out of that game because I love it on my PC, and I like the fact that I can have it on a console that I can pick up and go anywhere with it.
4th of July is a holiday. Is it coming out then?
No, this generally means like the Christmas time frame.
I know, I'm kidding.
Let's see. Next up, Super Mario Odyssey. October 27th is the release date on it. There's some kind of wedding. I don't know what all's going on. But the most interesting thing on Mario Odyssey to me is Nintendo pretty much said, yes, there is a cooperative element to it. Player 2 can control the hat.
Oh my god, he can... My player 2 can control the hat?
Well, so if you're unaware...
Oh my god, this is what I've been waiting for my entire life!
So Willie's overly dramatic sarcasm aside, the hat does play a fairly decent role in the game from what we saw in the trailers and stuff. Mario can use his hat by throwing it at enemies or environmental things and basically possessing them.
Jump off of it, I remember seeing it.
He can also use it as a launching point. But like one of the things they show in the trailer is he throws the hat on a Tyrannosaurus Rex and then basically possesses the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, you mean like a bigger Yoshi?
Yeah, similar. But only he's not riding the T-Rex. He's like inside of it because he possesses it like a spirit almost. It's an interesting dynamic.
He's inside it?
Yes.
Mario's going to get inside it.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, when he possesses things in here, it gains the hat, and then Mario's mustache is on that thing's face now. It's like they showed Mario as a Goomba wearing the hat with a mustache on the Goomba. So it was pretty cool.
Hold on a second. Before we get too far away from it. That T-Rex got me T-Vexed.
Oh, I see what he did there.
Sorry.
You should be.
2 more games I wanted to talk about.
No, hold on a second. Yeah. I got one more thing to say about this.
All right.
This is just one step, the slightest step you can go up with a second player helping from Super Mario Galaxy, where the second person with the Wiimote can just point and get all the stars and shoot them back out and waste all of them.
Yeah.
God, it's so fucking stupid.
2 more games I wanted to touch on. Willie's going to love this one. Skyrim for the Switch.
We already knew that was coming.
We knew it was coming. What they did show off, though, is there's limited interactivity with these Legend of Zelda amiibos. If you drop a Zelda amiibo in-game, it drops a treasure chest for you, and they showed off the fact that this treasure chest dropped, and it had the Breath of the Wild gear inside and a Master Sword that your Skyrim character then could use.
Do they break after 30 hits?
I don't know that it does or not. But that was ironically what I thought when that was shown off as well. And that was all I had.
Wait, what? Breath of the Wild stuff lasts longer in Skyrim than it does in Breath of the Wild? What the hell's
It's
that?
better. You're attacking dragons.
He gets the Master Sword, it looks like, in Skyrim, which is indestructible in Breath of the Wild.
But can also be powered up if you get DLC.
That is true. And then one last game I want to talk about. It's not for the Switch. It is for the DS. An updated remake of Metroid 2 is coming to the DS.
That's actually very interesting.
That's pretty cool. One last thing.
Because that played like shit if you thought about it. Go back to the original Game Boy and try and play that.
Yeah, it was tough. One last thing they also did drop from this is they dropped a whole bunch of new amiibos that are coming. There's the 4 champions from Zelda. There's all sorts of Mario stuff. There is Metroid ones coming. All sorts of amiibos. But that pretty much wrapped up the major stuff I had from the Nintendo event.
Yay, Toys to Life bullshit.
And that actually wraps most of the notes I had. So did you guys have any other stuff from E3 you wanted to bring up?
Go Sony.
As good as Battlefront 2 looks, I probably won't be buying it at launch.
It has a campaign now. We didn't even talk about Battlefront 2.
Yeah, I mean it has a first-person storyline where you're playing as the Empire, and they give you a reason to kick ass.
Did you see who's portraying the main character in Battlefront 2? Shiva Komini Somakandakron.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time. Can I hear that one more time?
I just Shiva blasted.
Shiva Kamini Somar Kandakram Shiva Kamini Somar Kandakram. Hey! And if you haven't watched the league, fuck you. You're not my friend.
I mean, I've seen it, but I didn't memorize that shit.
If I wasn't sitting down, I could do the half Russian dance like Ruxin.
Really? Because I can never do that. My center of gravity is way too high.
Rodney. People call me Ruxin.
People call me Roxanne.
Oh, he saw his own dad's was it called when you looked at
strokes.
Vinegar strokes.
He saw the vinegar strokes of his father.
His own face.
As he was
Vinegar
fucking
stroke.
Sarah Silverman.
Yes. So I think that wrapped up our E3 coverage. Just real quick before we start signing off of things, if you have to pick one game you're most interested in coming out of E3, what is it? And we're going to start with Bachman. Do you want to go first?
Damn.
That's no, I was just messing.
Honestly, I would say Anthem because I've played open world amazing Spider-Man games before that I've enjoyed and spent lots of hours on. I've never played an open world like exosuit game with online capability that looked as good as Anthem looks. Anthem has me more excited because it's all brand new. And so for that reason, I would put Anthem over Spider-Man.
Makes sense. So we're going to save Willie for last. I'll go next. I really wanted to say Metroid Prime 4. I just can't say that because we literally saw nothing from the game. It's just the credits coming
title
across.
card.
Yeah, it's a title card. So I can't.
What you don't know is they're going to take that Metro 2 remake for the DS and they're just going to res it up to 4K, slap a 4 on it, and shove it out the door.
No,
Switch can't do 4K.
Switch can't do 4K. You can barely do 1080p.
Oh, snap.
I'm not wrong.
I know.
So for me, if I had to pick one I'm most interested in, it's probably also Anthem because I'm a BioWare fanboy. Remember, I love Mass Effect, I love Knights of the Old Republic, I love Jade Empire. Those are all BioWare games, and I really want to see where they go with this. I'm not a huge fan of open world games like that, but if they can do the BioWare story and make it so I can cooperative play with my friends a lot, I'm kind of in. Willie?
Yeah, in instances that look like dungeon runs. Yeah, Willie, you got to watch the video of Anthem.
I just saw a little bit of it.
There's like a 12-minute long play video.
It's 7 minutes long. I saw it.
God damn, it looks good.
It looked all right.
So that's it for me. Willie, wrap us up. Which one game coming out of E3 are you most interested in?
My one game has to be Mario Diddles Dinos because that looks like it's gonna be fun. I'm kidding.
Nintendo's going to sue you.
Fucking bring it on. Send your hate mail and suing us. Don't fucking care. I mean, already told you the two I have. That was
You got to pick one, man. We're making it tough.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Spitterman.
Well, that's a
Jewish
fair one.
now.
Yeah, Peter Spitterman would have been my number 2 because and it's real close. Because damn, that game looks fun.
Wait, oh my God, this better be. I wouldn't even care if it's paid DLC costume. Peter Porker.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
See, but that's not even a costume. That's where you come into a physics change because he can only be 2 feet tall. It doesn't work if he's full size.
Insomniac, do this.
Yeah. Insomniac could do it, and they really, really should. I personally want the 2099 costume. My favorite is Miguel's costume, the Death's Head Spider-Man costume.
That's cool.
Am I back?
You are back.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, my internet froze.
His internet did freeze. It's entirely possible. So, guys, what we're going to do now, this is probably going to wrap up our E3 coverage piece we did, unless you had any final thoughts on E3. Anyone?
How exactly does one diddle a dino, Mario? How?
Oh, son of a bitch. I shouldn't have asked.
No, you shouldn't have.
I just invited trouble right there. So we're going to wrap up the E3
It involves
coverage.
us fire.
No, you stop. Stop right now. Stop right now.
For those listening later, not watching, you're welcome because you're lucky you didn't have to watch that.
So like I said, this is a special that we're tacking on to another episode. We're going to wrap it up now. As we wrap up, don't forget, we record normally the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over on Geeks.live and on DiamondClub.tv. You can always watch a bunch of cool, awesome live content over on Geeks.live, the streaming home of the Gonna Geek Network. Just head on over that way. You'll see a calendar of when all the live shows are. I would offer to tell you what the next show is, but everyone's schedules are changing because they changed what time everything airs on TV, and it's really fucked with everything. That's the best way to put it. Like, I know the Starling Tribune's moving to Sunday. Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is moving to Sunday. There's all sorts of stuff on Sundays now.
Hey, weren't you guys the originators of the Sunday?
We were on the network. Now, it's not to say we're the originators of broadcasting on Sunday, because it's a giant effing internet.
I meant...
I don't know. I think we were first. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go.
We were ethically first.
No, not ethically. Actually first.
So, guys,
it's the same thing.
Before we wrap things up, you guys have any final thoughts for our crowd before we get out of here?
I'm Tiny Rick, bitch.
Fair enough.
I liked how I almost got Bachman there with a spit take. Just about. He just stopped right before it. But other than that, Mario, stop dealing those damn dinos.
Oh, son of a bitch. Why do I invite trouble like that? It's like I should know better at some point.
Peter, get on the Nintendo.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in for our E3 coverage on this. If you watched us live out of cycle, thank you. Don't forget, we're back next Sunday. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com. Hey everyone, we're back for a couple minutes of our post-show announcements here. Just so everyone knows, we should have everyone back on the show next week. That's the plan right now.